Today, President Trump is condemning the ones that have banned him from using Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm Glenda Lewis.
And I'm Alan Campbell. Companies have taken unprecedented actions to curb more violence ahead of the inauguration. Twitter has suspended more than 70,000 accounts for promoting the QAnon conspiracy theory.
Now, Facebook is going even further, removing all content mentioning the phrase "stop the steal." But could these bans have an unintended effect? 7 Action News reporter Jennifer Ann Wilson speaks with a counterterrorism expert about whether this will prevent violence or just make threats harder to find.
If Twitter is the swing set, Facebook is the slide, and maybe Instagram's that wavy slide over there, we've all essentially, for better or for worse, been playing on the same playground out in the open where everybody can see. Now that big tech is kicking people out of their playground for not following the rules, troublemakers could be harder to find.
We've seen more than a dozen men charged in a plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer, a plot the FBI says they discovered through social media where a group of people were discussing a violent overthrow. That's just one of many examples of law enforcement using social media. U of M expert Javed Ali was a senior U.S. government counterterrorism official.
These are the platforms that now, where more and more there is threat-related information occurring, and it's happening not in sort of closed forums or protected, encrypted communications.
Which means special training isn't required. Any officer or concerned citizen can spot and report threats. But it also means that people with criminal intent can easily recruit or incite others, like what we saw in Washington, D.C. last week. That violence led to Twitter and Facebook taking aggressive steps in suspending tens of thousands of user accounts.
From a national security perspective or a counterterrorism perspective, you can make the argument that these are good steps, and perhaps steps that should have happened well earlier, but it doesn't make the challenge any easier. It actually may make it harder for law enforcement going forward.
Ali says people will find other ways to communicate and law enforcement will have more cyber ground to cover.
It will be even harder to find the real threats that are existing in this the more kind of closed or less sort of prominent virtual worlds in which these ideas and beliefs are being shared. So again, this is a never-ending sort of yin and yang of one step forward and sometimes two step back.
Everything we're seeing unfold right now has never happened quite like this ever before, but law enforcement has a lot of tools at their disposal, and they're trained to adapt. I'm Jennifer Ann Wilson, 7 Action News.
Jennifer Ann, thank you. And